Hola amigos, this is Somveer and welcome back to CodePipe. Currently we are designing the backend for our e-commerce website. In the last video we have seen how to add wishlist to our website. In this video we will see how can we make our cart and how do we implement orders on our website. Let's get started. But before we start the video, I would ask you to consider hitting the subscribe button if you like my videos. With that, let's go to our cart page. So this is our cart page. This is the dummy data. So what we are going to do is, just like wishlist, we will be making a model of order items and we will be making one another model that will be order because we want to show unordered items here. If there are some products in the cart and user ordered them, then we want to remove them and make a new order list. It will be clear in a moment. Along with that, we will also need all these details like name, phone, email, address that will be attached to the order model. So we will capture these also. First things first, let's make our models. In our order models.py, we already have this wish item. Now we need to make order item that will be exactly like wish item. So we can copy all of this and paste it here along with the item price. Now this order item can only hold one product, but in one order we can have multiple products and that can be in multiple quantity. To tackle that, we will make a new model that will be order models.model. Here we will firstly use user to associate it with any user. Then instead of product I will be using items, which will be a many to many field to order item, as one order can contain more than one order item, and vice versa, one order item can be contained in more than one order that will be related to respective users. One more important field that we need to include is ordered. If the order is not placed, we will show that on the cart page, otherwise we will not show. So these three are the important fields that we need to include. After this, there are some extra data required. So for that, I will copy all these fields. We will have delivered, that will be a boolean field if the order is delivered or not. We have order date, when the order was placed. Then we have delivery date, when the delivery was made. Then we have name, mobile, email address, city, pin code. This information is somehow related to shipping address or shipping details. Then we have quantity, and this quantity can be neglected because we are not using it anywhere. And at the last we have price, that will be the combined price of all the items in this order. There is a lot of information to be delivered in this video, so please bear with me. Then we have a string method that will return the self.user.username, and if we want we can also include the order ID or something like that. But for now let me use username only. Our model is ready. Let's include this in admin.py. Here we will say admin.site.register order item. Copy this here, and here I will say order. Now we can make our migrations. Python manage.py make migrations. Our models are created. Now we can migrate them. Manage.py migrate. Migrations applied successfully. Let's check our admin page. Here we can see last time we had only wish items. Now we have orders and order items. If we check for order items, there are no items. Let's add 2-3 items for demo. Attaching it to admin again. Let's take any product. Saving this. Now we have 3 demo items. Now we can attach them to our order. Adding order. User is admin, and we will mark all of these 3. It is not ordered, not delivered. Let's leave all of them blank. Save. Our order object is saved successfully. Let's put this in our view, and here is our cart view. Let's make a context that will look something like this. So what we are going to pass in the context is the order object of this user. For that I will say order query set, that will be equal to order.objects.filter. User will be request.user. This will be self.request.user, and I'm also going to use ordered is equal to false. Now if this query set exists, we can check if order query set dot exist. We will take the order object as order query set and the first element in this list, because we will be getting only one element that will be satisfying this condition. We can also use a get method here. However, if we use get, we should always include this in try, because get should always return 1, but if we get more than 1 the site will break. So it's safe to use filter, but we can also use get to get accurate results. It is up to us. And if this query set does not exist, what we will do is we will create one query set that will be order object. We are creating for the user self.request.user, and the ordered is always default false, so no need to provide that in the create. Also, why specifically we are using order is equal to false here is, once the user places the order we will make it true, so that once the order is placed it is converted to true, and we should not get that query set here. So in both of these conditions we have our order object. So here we will say order object, and we will pass it in the context. Put this context in the render. We already have our view and URL, so let's quickly make changes to cart.html. But before that, let's make it object so that they are both similar. Going to cart.html, we are using a for loop here that is dummy. So I will say order object dot items dot all. We are getting all the items that we have many to many field with. Remember in our models.py we have this items that has many to many field. So if we use order.items.all, we will get all the objects in this order item field. So we will loop through all the items and we will call it item. For the image, I will use the same logic that we have used in the wishlist. If any item in this order object has image 1, we will show it, otherwise we will show the demo image so that our site does not break. Then we have product name. I will replace this with name of the product, that will be item, product variation, product and name. So this is the name of main product, not product variation. And below the name I will put one row here that will include the size and color. Then we have quantity. For quantity we have the option to decrease or increase the quantity here. So I am using a form here that will be used to decrease and one form here that will be used to increase. We will have a look at this better in our cart page. Then we have our price. This will be the individual item price. So I can use item.getItemPrice. This is a method of order item, so we can use this here. And this should be it. Let's check our browser. If we refresh, we are not getting anything. Let's check what happened. In our HTML page, let's check for the for loop. Here we have order objects. This should be order object. Let's refresh again. And here we have our products. We have our name, image. We have the size, but this is not proper, so let's make it proper. In our HTML page for item.product.size, let's make it dot size so that we are only getting the size. Refresh again. So here we are getting only the size and the color. And for the quantity we are also getting the buttons here that I have used as icons from Font Awesome. So this is the form that I was talking about in the HTML page. This is to reduce one quantity and this is to add one quantity. Then we have price and then we have remove button. While we are on this page, let's add detail on this form also. So in our cart.html, if we scroll down, we will have this billing details. For the name, I will put the value of request.user.first_name. Let's check if it is coming. If we refresh, we can see here we are getting admin. I have given first name and last name as admin. So let's add other details. In font, I will say value equal to context of request.user.appUsers, because we are connecting app user model to user. So we can use this relation to get our request.user and other details. And here we can say mobile that we have given in our app user model. Let's save this and test. Let's refresh. Here we can see we are getting the phone number. Therefore, let us quickly add other details also. So in our cart.html, I have added other details like mobile, request.user.email, request.user.appusers.address, city, pin code. Let's check it out on our web page. If we refresh, we can see all the details here. Now we need to add total price and total items. For total price, we will need to create a method in our model. So in our models.py, just below this string method, I will create one more method that will be total amount. it will take self, and this will be a very simple logic. I am defining a variable 0. I am going through each item that is present in this order, and I am taking out the price and adding them to the total, and finally I am returning total. Once we added this total amount, if we check our web page once, we can see that we will need to provide price at two places. One will be here and another one will be on the top where we are providing this amount. So to provide anything on this page, that is base.html, we will need to create context processors. So let's jump to our context processors py file, that is in order context processors.py. So here I will add one more dictionary item, that will be total amount. To get this total amount, what I will do is I will make a filter where I will take out the order query set, just like we did in our views.py. If this query set exists, we will take out the order object of this, like this. Then we will take out the total amount from this, that will look something like this. So we are taking this object and calling on the total amount method we described. So I will pass this here, we will copy this, and in the else statement we will pass this and say total amount is 0 if the user is not authenticated. While we are here, let us also give the count of items that are present in the cart. For that purpose, let's use this order object again here. The cart count will look something like order.items.count. Remember, this items we are using because we have a many to many relationship with order item, and count will give us the count of items. So we will pass this in our context or dictionary. We will copy this in our else statement also, but here we will provide 0 and we are done. So now we have total amount and cart count to provide to our pages. So let's go to cart.html. If we scroll down, we have this price here. So instead of this price, I will say total amount. We don't have to use any object here because we are passing context processor and we can use anything anywhere. And after that we have total items, and here we can use cart underscore count. Let's check our web page. If we refresh, it says we got one error in line 13. So let's check out. On this file, line 13 is there and we forgot to place a comma here. Let's refresh again. If we scroll down, we can see we are getting total price as 103, and if we add them, we will get the total price as 103 only, but we are not getting our total items. Let's check why we are missing this total items. In our cart.html, we have used total amount and cart count. Here we are missing an R. If we refresh, we are getting the correct count of total items, which means it is working now. So let's put these two on our base.html also. Going to our base.html, we have used wish count from our context processors last time. So let's use it for cart count and also the total amount. So I will write here cart underscore count, and in place of 100 I will write total amount. Let's check our browser. If we refresh, we are getting the correct count here, 3 and 103. Now our cart page is ready. We can move on to making views. First of all, we will make a view where we are adding one item to the cart. Again, we will be adding item from two places. If we go to category page, one we will use it from here. If we click here, we should add item to the cart. And another one is if we get into the product page, if we click on this button, we should add the item to our cart, just like we did with add to wish list. So let's go to product page first. This is the form that we have used for add to wish list, and this is the form that we need to use for add to cart. We have already used the method and action that we will change, but I will use this CSRF token and the input here. Copy this here and we are set. Let's make the view for this. So in our views.py, just below this cart view, I will define a new function, add to cart. It will take request. First we will check if the method is post, and we will take out the product ID. That will look something like this. We are taking the product ID using the post data, and we are taking the product variation using this ID. Now what we want to do here is we have the product variation. In the wish list, we added directly to our wish list model. But if we check our models, we have order item and order. So we are finally showing order on our cart page. So we will do this order item process in the backend. So first we will add our item into order item and then we will add it into the order. This is one thing. Let me note it down here. First we will add item to order item first and then to order. Second will be we need to check if user has any order. If user has the order, then we need to check if the product is already present in the order. If it is present, we need to increase the quantity of the item. Now if the user does not have any order, we will need to create one. If there is no product item in the order item, then we need to create a new order item. So these are the basic steps that we need to do. Let me add them into docstring like this. Now I can proceed with the code. So first of all, we will check if the user has any product. We will use this. We will take out the order query set that will be filtering for the user and ordered is equal to false. If this query set exists, we will take out the order object using the first component of list. We have the order object. Now we need to check if this order item is present in the order or not. For that, we will use a if statement and I will use order.items.filter. Here I am filtering into the order items. Remember in our models.py we have these items where we are using many to many field. So if we are using order.items, that means we are filtering the order items that have many to many relationship with the order object. So in the order item, I can use user and the product variation for my filter like this. So this is a query set, and if this query set exists, which means this order item is present in the order object, then I will increase the quantity by 1. For that, first of all, I will take out this order item using this same query set value, but here I will use get because filter will give me a list while get will give me an object. Now I can change this quantity. So order underscore item dot quantity plus is equal to 1. Let me save this order dot item dot save. This is when the order item is already present in the order object. If the order item is not present in the object, then we will need to create one order item that we have defined it here and then add it to our order. For that I will use order item is equal to order item dot objects dot create. I will give the user as request dot user and product as product where. Now I will add this order item into our order by using order dot items dot add order underscore item. So this is the order object. This is the items that we have many to many field with, and I'm using this add so that I can use this order item that is newly created into our many to many field of items. And this if else condition is under the situation where we have the order query set, which means we have an order for the customer. In the case when we don't have any order, we will create one order, we will create the order item again, and we will add into the order like this. Here we are creating the order object, attaching it to the request.user, and our ordered value is always false as we know. Then I am creating a new order item using order item.objects.create, and then I am adding this order item into our order object. At this point our product is added into the cart, but we also need to check if it is present in wishlist or not, and then we can delete it from wishlist if it is present. This is something extra I am doing. If you want, we can skip it. So for that I will use try wishlist item is equal to wish item dot objects dot get. Here I am using get, which should only give me one object. That's why I am using try. If I am not getting any single object, which means this item is not present in the wish item, then I might get the error. That's why I am using a try here. Again I am using the same query where user is equal to request.user and product is equal to product where. If we have this wish item, that is wishlist item, then I will delete using wish list item dot delete. And after this, finally I will say return to the cart page. For that I will use HTTP response redirect reverse order cart. Let's add this view into our URL that is here. Let's make a new path that will say add to cart. I will use the view name here, provide the name of add to cart in quotes. Now I can use this name into our form that will be in product page. This form, in place of this URL, I will say add to cart. Let's save this. Let's refresh our page and try adding. If I click on add to cart, we are redirecting to the cart page. Here we can see we have this Hulk t-shirt large black in 2 quantity, which means our add to cart is working. Let's try with the product that is not available in the cart. Let's go to the female page now. If we go to any page, if we scroll down and click on add to cart, we are redirected to the cart page, and if we see, we have this product here, which means our add to cart button is working. Now we will make a view for removing the item. So let's go to cart.html and put a form into this button. Here if we scroll down, we should get a button that says remove, and here it is. So I will provide a CSRF token here, CSRF token. Also I will provide a hidden input field. Name will be item ID and value I am providing is item.id, so that I can directly delete this item. Let me provide the method here that will be post. Let's make a view for this. In our views, below this add to cart, I will define a new function that will look something like this. I am calling it delete from cart. It will take request. I am checking if the request.method is post. If it is post, then I am getting item ID using the post data. Now if I take out the item from order item, I can say order item dot objects dot get. I am using get because we have the ID. I will say ID is equal to item underscore ID, and then I will say item dot delete, and finally we will return it to the cart only using this line HTTP response redirect and reversing it to the cart page. Let's make a URL for this, urls.py, making a new path again. I will say delete from cart, pasting the view name and calling it delete from cart. I can use this name in our cart.html. In the action, I will say URL in order delete from cart. This should work. Let's test it out, and let's remove this Hulk t-shirt M red. If I click on remove, we are coming to the same page, but we only see 3 items here. We don't see the Hulk t-shirt in red color, so we have successfully removed that from our list. Now what we need to do is we need to make views to remove one quantity and add one quantity in our cart item. So let's make for removing one quantity first. Here also I will be sending the item ID directly because we are using the quantity on our order item only. Therefore on our cart.html, if we go to the quantity removal, this is our form, and here we can see I have already added the item.id with the name item ID. We don't have the action yet, so let's make a view for it. Below this delete from cart, let me define one more function that will be delete one quantity. It will take request. Again the request method will be post. I am getting the item ID, and again I am getting the object of order item like this. Now when removing one quantity from the item, we need to see if it is only a single item. If it is a single item, we need to directly delete it, otherwise we will remove one quantity. So we will see if item dot quantity is equal to 1. If it is 1, we will directly delete it. If it is not 1, which means in the else condition, we can say item dot quantity minus equal to 1 and item dot save, and again I can redirect it to the cart page like this. Let's make an URL for this. Copy this, go to urls.py, make a new path. This will say delete one quantity. View will be delete one quantity, and name also I will use delete one quantity, which is this one. Copy this, go to our cart.html. Inside this form action, again I will use URL template tagging, which will say order delete one quantity. Let's test it out. Here we have this two quantity, so let's test it out on this. So if we click on this minus button, this is giving us the error. So let's check it out. On our cart.html, this is the form, and here I can see we have missed the percentage signs. Let's try again. Go back, refresh. If I try to decrease the quantity, I am getting again on the cart page, and here I can see we have only one quantity. And again if I click on minus sign, getting on the same page, but we don't see that product anymore, which means we have deleted it. Now let's make a view for adding one quantity. Let's see our form first. In our cart.html, this is our form to increase the quantity. We already have token input field. We just need to provide action. For that, let's prepare a view. Just like delete one quantity, we will create one add one quantity, which will look something like this. We are checking if the request method is post. Then we will copy this because we are trying to take out the item. Paste it here. Now what we need to do is we just need to use item.quantity plus equal to 1. Here we need to give plus, and we can save this. If seller wants to set some restrictions, or you want to set some restrictions of the maximum order quantity one can place, we can use one condition here. Else we can just directly use +1. And finally we will redirect it to the cart page using the same line. Paste it here. Let's make a path for this. In our urls.py, I will copy this, paste this again, and I will modify this to add, and here also add. I will copy this, go to our cart.html. In our action, I will make a URL template tag of URL in order add one quantity. Let's refresh, and if I try to click on this plus icon, it will redirect to the cart page only, and we can see we have the quantity 2, and the price is also increasing, and the total price is also increasing here also and here also, which means our add one quantity view is also working. So until now we have seen how to add one item to the cart, how to remove one item, how to increase one quantity, and how to decrease one quantity. Now what we need to do is we have all our information. If I click on this checkout, we will get to this review page. Here we will check out our order details. We will check our address details. This will be shipping address. We will check the order amount. And for now we are only paying through Stripe, but we can also integrate different payment methods here. So let's see how we can make this page. First of all, if we go back to cart, we have all this information in our form. But once we click on this checkout, we want all this information to be saved on our model. Remember, in our model, which is order, we made different fields with these items, that is name, mobile, email address, city and pin code. So we are going to save all that form data into this, so that we will have a clear connection between the order and the details. For this purpose, we will need to create another view where we are taking all this information to be stored in an order object. So in our views.py, below this add one quantity, I will also define a new view which will be checkout view. It will take request. Now we are using form again, so I will say if request.method is equal to post. If it is post, I will take out all that data and save it into the order. For that I will need to take out the order. For that I will use order.objects.get. User will be request.user, and ordered is equal to false. I am using get here because we are already on the cart page, and at this point there is at least one order for the user, and we made sure in our add to cart view. So I can directly use a get function here. Now I can directly use these lines where I am using order.name, and I am directly getting the name from the form and saving it into order.name. Doing same with mobile, email address, city and pin code. Now one interesting thing is, in our cart, these two items are also there. This is the price and this is the quantity. So I can also include them into our form
So in our cart.html, if we scroll down to the form, here we can see we have all this personal detail, and inside the form, I am also collecting this price and items detail. So therefore in my views, I can also use order.price. We can get price from the form, and we can get quantity, which is the number of items that are available in our order. We need to add this into our model. So in our models.py, in our order model, we can add the quantity field, which will look something like this. This is a small integer field. Let's migrate all the changes. First with make migrations, then with the migrate. If we go back to our views.py, we have all the information. Now we can save our order, and finally we can redirect the user to our checkout page or the review page, which is the same thing. So here I will use this line where I am using the reverse to the checkout page. Let's make a URL for this. In urls.py, I will make a new path here, and I will call this order checkout using the name of the view, that is checkout view, and giving it a name of order checkout. Copy this, go to our cart.html. Inside this form, on the top where I am using order checkout, I will say order checkout, and I will give the method of post. We already have the CSRF token, so let's see if this is working. Let's refresh. If we scroll down and click on checkout, we are getting one weird error here. So if we try to debug it, if we scroll down, here we can see one highlighted box. So we are doing something wrong in this, which is user is equal to request.user, but we are using request. So let's go to our view. Here I will say request.user. If I refresh, continue, we are going to the checkout page, which means our view is working. Now let's change this checkout.html. In our order templates checkout.html, we have everything manually written, so we will be changing this. To use any context here, we need to see which view is using this HTML template. If we go to views.py, if we scroll down, we have this checkout view where we are using this checkout.html. So I will provide a context here, that will be a dictionary, and inside that context I will provide the order. Again here we will be using the same logic that we have used in many other views, that is this one. We will get a query set using filter. If this query set is available, we will take out the first order item in this. This will be the order object that we can pass into our context. Otherwise we will create a new order object. Now we can pass this order into our context, that will be order, the value will be order, and we can pass this context to our render. We are sending in the order object, so in our checkout.html I can directly use order.price. And remember, from our this view we are directly saving this price into order.price, so we can directly use price and quantity and other details. So in our checkout.html I will use order.price, and inside this order details, this is the header, that is okay, but instead of this tr I will replace it with this code, that is for item in order.items.all. Again I am taking all the order items in the order object and looping through them. For the name I am using the product name, color and the size. Then I am showing the quantity and price. For the address details, instead of this I can write order.address. Here I can say order.city, and here I can say order.pincode. I think this is all. Let's check our web page. If we refresh, we can see we are getting most of the details like product name, quantity, product price, address details also we are getting, but we are not getting the order amount, which means something is wrong. So let's go to our cart.html to see if the form is okay. In our cart.html, in the billing details form, for the price, okay, I can see that we are only using the paragraph tag and no input to save this. So here I will use two hidden inputs that will take the price and quantity. So going back to the cart and saving it all again, if we click on checkout, we are getting to the checkout page, and now we are getting the order item price and all the other details. With this, we can say that we have successfully created our cart page and we have also initiated our order. The next step is to make the payment integration so that once we pay the amount, our order will be confirmed and placed. So in the next video, we will see how to integrate Stripe payment on our Django website. Do consider hitting the subscribe button if you liked the video. I think this is a good point to conclude the video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. We will meet very soon with a new video. Until then, this is Somveer taking your leave. Adios.